Hi, everybody. I am going to be talking about section 9. And first, I want to say if you see me looking over in the corner, I just have a script so that this video is not 10 minutes long. But section 9 covers non-Mendelian genetics. That is genetics that does not particularly follow the one dominant trait over a recessive trait. What is different in section 9 is that both traits can be dominant and create a third trait or a new trait. The first type of non-Mendelian genetics we study is incomplete and codominance. Incomplete dominance is where both traits are dominant and create a new blend of a trait, of each dominant trait, So on this one, this is a little misleading, this picture, but for this trait, this flower is dominant for red, this flower is dominant for white. So even though it's two lowercase letters, ignore that, it is a dominant white flower. So for this, we cross a red flower with a white flower, we would get, with incomplete dominance, a third trait, which is a pink flower. So both alleles are expressed and blended together. For our next type of genetics, which is codominance, that is where codominance is where both alleles are expressed equally. So not like incomplete dominance where they blend together, each one is expressed equally. So we study codominance mostly in animals. We study incomplete dominance mostly in flowers. And with codominance, we see that we have an original white chicken, an original black chicken, and their offsprings would be speckled, are both black and white. So one isn't more present over the other. They don't blend together, but they're expressed equally on the offspring. In studying alleles, there's also a phenomenon called multiple alleles, and we study that mostly in blood types. Let me zoom in. It's going to cut me off in the corner, but don't worry. With multiple alleles, we are saying that there are multiple combinations of alleles. So the letters, alleles are kind of the letters that represent our genetics, that can be for one trait. So we see this mostly in blood type. In type A, you can either have a capital letter with a lowercase I or two capital letters or two capital A's. So for B type blood, you can see again, same pattern. You can have B type blood and you can be lowercase I with a capital B and a lowercase I, or you're both capital B's on lowercase i's. Where the only exception to this rule is our O type blood, where it has to be two lowercase letters, because if any capital letter is present, it's going to be whatever that capital letter is. So like here, we see that A is present on one of our lowercase i's, it would automatically be type A blood. But we're saying with multiple alleles can represent our blood type. You also see multiple alleles in skin color. You don't have just one skin color trait. So like a capital letter represents one type of skin color from your parent. One skin color represents another color from your second parent, and they combine to make you. So multiple alleles are used for skin color, and also in animals for fur color. So that's why you can have a calico cat or a tabby cat that has different patterns on them. It's multiple alleles that make up that coat color. There's also a third type of trait in non-Mendelian genetics called linked genes, and these, simply put, are just genes that are inherited together. So you would see on a chromosome, like the two most bottom sections would code for hair and hair and eye color. Those are two genes that are inherited together. Lastly, in non-Mendelian genetics, we have something called sex-linked or X-linked genes. And these are genes that are specifically on our X and Y chromosomes. Our X and Y chromosomes are our sex chromosomes that code for females XX, or males XY. In sex-linked or X-linked chromosomes, we can see particular genes that are inherited on them. One of the most common type of genes that is inherited on our X-linked genes is color blindness. And how we study these inherited genes is something called a pedigree. So on here, we have a pedigree for color blindness. And through 4 generations, we can see the traits of color blindness being passed on to offspring, from offspring to offspring. So color blindness itself is an X-linked gene. That means it's going to be carried by the mother, but the sons would automatically have it. You can see right here on a pedigree, females are represented by circles, males are represented by squares. Because females have 2 X's, so an X and an X chromosome, that second X can disguise that original X with the genetic mutation. With males, they have an X and a Y, so they only have one X that carries that genetic mutation. So that's why you see all of the males affected with color blindness. Now, this is just an overview of Section 9. I would look in your MAAPS book and read more for more details to get a better understanding of all the topics that I just covered. Hope you have a great day.